Hey everyone, welcome back to Deck Building with Dum-Dums. I don't know, I need a name for this segment, so feel free to chime in below. So today we're building a Thaddeus Juniper Ascendant. I'm going to put it here, right here. I'm going to put the alternative card for this. I get a lot of my inspiration from this guy. Trying to figure out how to put links in videos, but it'll be in the comment below, in the description below if I can't. He showed this deck, and I was like, what a great idea. So, Commander has reach, has hexproof unless he's attacking. Whenever a creature you control with reach attacks, untap it. So basically gives anything with reach vigilance. And it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power this combat. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, key to this deck, puny creatures with reach. Right? So we'll start out with the creatures. He's got reach. When he enters, you can search your library or graveyard for a creature card with no abilities, reveal it, put it in your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. Not really useful. Reach, creatures with flying attacks. You or planeswalker you control, this guy deals damage to it. Phineas attacks, puts a counter on every creature, vigilance and reach. Reach and lifelink. Flanking. Creatures your opponents control without flying or reach cannot block creatures with power 2 or less. So in case my commander's dead, all my 2 or less guys can come out. Creatures with power less than this creature can't block it. So not bad. Reach again. The rest of it's not relevant. Reach. When he enters the battlefield, you can destroy something with flying, which is also handy. Flash and reach. Whenever another non-creature enters the battlefield under your control, you put X. You may pay X and put X +1/+1 counters on this guy. Reach again. Reveal cards from the top of your library till you find a land card. Also helpful. Vigilance, reach, death touch. Reach. If a creature attacking you and you control a forest, you can snap this guy into play. Right. So those are the creatures that have reach. Here's some stuff that gives people reach. This gives you +1/+1 and has reach. The alternative. Not the alternative, the newer wording on this card actually says gives your creatures reach. So I play with my kids and they don't mind me playing with that as the premise. Creatures you control get 0/5 and gain reach, so you can give them big butts and attack or defend. Creatures you control have reach. You can sacrifice it and get 3 XX treefoot creature tokens where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Put a reach counter on each of them. This deck is kind of weak on finishing moves, so that's one of the things I'm trying to figure out how to improve. It's sort of a death by 1,000 paper cuts deck. When he enters the battlefield, attach to a target creature. That creature deals damage equal to its power, and then gives you ward, reach and ward. So give somebody reach, ward your commander a little bit. You don't really need it because as long as you don't attack with him, he's hexproof. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the random cards that seemed like a good idea at the time. Put a target card permanent from your graveyard on top of your library so you can bring something back from the dead. And when he enters, draw a card. Card draw. Always a fan of card draw. Also, always a fan of not letting other people cast spells during your turn, right? So, also, if their butts are bigger than their fists, you can draw a card. So, not bad because most of them, their butts are bigger than their fists. This guy, you know, whatever. His devotion to white. I got a lot of white cards. Felt like a good idea. Flying and vigilance. You have hexproof, so not terrible. Whenever he is dealt damage or she is dealt damage, you gain life. Okay. Whenever this creature enters, return target non-creature permanent land with mana value X or less from your graveyard. So recursion a little bit. Ideally tutor to get some of those enhancements that give me give all my creatures reach. I can look at the top card of my library at any time. Once reach per turn, all my creatures have power 2 or less, so I can cast one from the top of my library. It gives me an extra card in my hand. Delaney Streetwise Lookout. If a creature with power 2 or less triggers, it triggers an additional time, so I could draw 2 cards. Now, I do not make budget decks. I make decks with cards I have. So by now you hopefully have seen me pull that card out of a pack. But yeah. Don't look to me for less than $100 decks. It's really based on the cards that I already have. These are my interaction cards. So exile everything, destroy somebody's creature, add some stuff to somebody, destroy a target artifact, enchantment, or give myself protection. Same thing. This one was fun. I was looking for this one. I don't know if you remember in one of my posts, because if I have somebody that can block me, I can buff their creature, and then they can't block me anymore. So that's handy. Again, protection, heroic intervention. This guy flashes in, cancels a spell. So I did this. I had attacked with my commander, and someone tried to kill him, and I flashed this guy in and exiled that card so that then they couldn't kill my guy. Destroy all enchantments, because I'm a big fan of destroying stuff. Not sure whether this one's worth it or not. Maybe on that creature that all the damage that does done to him gives me life. I could enchant it and just block it and always gain life. Exile target attacking creature. So any kind of interaction there. Let's see, I've gone all the way across now. Then a little bit of ramp, right? Go find a mountain, enchant a forest, sack a land, get a land. When he dies, you get some land and mana. Let's see. These are more buff and protection, right? So target creature can go ahead, it's +X/+X. This is kind of the only end step or finisher move that I have, right? So something breaks through, can't be blocked, then you buff them and hit somebody hard. Until end of turn, target creature gains indestructible, so I can protect it. It does have a negative where it would then buff it, so it would be problematic. Same thing, put a counter on people, not great, but then it makes them all hexproof. So again, could save a board wipe maybe. 9 lives, if someone does damage to me, I can negate it. Spectacular tactics, put a counter on something I control against hexproof, or blow up somebody else's creature. Sack a land, give something shroud. Other tapped creatures you control have death touch, so everything that's attacking has death touch. Other untapped creatures you control have hexproof, so if they're not attacking, they're hexproof. Also, you could, when someone does something, untap one of your guys to save it, right? All their permanents you control have hexproof. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast angel and human spells from the top card of your library. There's actually quite a few humans in this as well, so not terrible. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have hexproof. Not bad again. Each creature you control with toughness greater than its base power swings with its butt. Give something +3/+3, trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. So again, a little bit of protection. And finally, I think this is the count, not counters, the token section. Because remember, if we have a bunch of stuff that gives everything reach, every token we bring out is unblockable. So we can attack with 1/1 tokens till our faces fall off, right? So if you can bestow this on somebody or just put it out. Whenever a land enters, you can create a 1/1 insect token. Great. Create a 2/1 green token with reach. Put a counter on a target creature I control. It becomes legendary, and then target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. This guy, whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green and white human soldier token. Crescendo, create as many tokens as you want. Head of the homestead enters, create 2 rabbits. Whenever he attacks, create 2 rabbit cats. Sorry. If you would create 1 or more tokens under your control, create twice that many. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a spider with reach. Whenever 1 or more non-token vampires you control attack, create a 1/1 vampire creature token. This is the only vampire, so he kind of has to attack, but hopefully he's unblockable because he has reach. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens, create twice as many. When he enters, create as many X vampire creature tokens with lifelink. Oh, yeah, that goes with this guy. Beginning your upkeep, if your devotion of white and black is 7 or greater, create a vampire. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create 2 human soldiers, or put a counter on stuff, but you're probably not going to do that. Create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach for each creature card in your graveyard. If you would create a token, create an angel instead with flying, because flying is better than not flying. Whenever 1 or more tokens you control enter, draw a card, so not bad. Once you've got a couple of these out, you're drawing a card every turn. You can copy a token. Tokens get +2/+2, which you probably don't want. Enchant a land again. When this aura enters, you create 3 tokens. Enchanted land has pay 1, tap, create a target creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. So again, part of the finishing move. And Moogle's Valor. For each creature you control, create a 1/2 Moogle creature token with lifelink. Then creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. So, kind of a janky deck, right? It's really death by 1,000 paper cuts. It really gets overwhelming quickly with the number of cards you're drawing, with the number of tokens you're creating. And I played 3 games with it so far, and my kids hate it. My son rage quit one night when I beat him with it. He was like, turn, I don't know, 5 or 6, he was down to like 10 life, and he was just, no, I'm done, I'm out. So beware, I guess, who you play this against. I am going to continue playing it for a little while, and then I'm probably going to take it apart because it is not in the spirit of the way we play Magic in our household. So anyways, if you like this kind of stuff, I will be doing more of them. I am going to take my Servandum deck here and make a video on it shortly, as well as my artifact deck. I have a dino deck that's pretty cool. And again, the intent for these series is to give you a viewpoint on some stuff you might not see otherwise. There was actually one with, what was her name? Not Doc Ock. A 1 mana blue legendary creature from Spider-Man that when you draw a card, she gets a token on her, and then once per turn, well, you can tap her and cast an artifact for the number of tokens that are on her. So lots of untapping shenanigans, lots of card draw instants on other people's turns to buffer up so that you can pull out a 9 mana. I can't remember whether it's colorless or artifact, but yeah, so gonna be some fun stuff coming up. Hopefully you like this kind of thing, and if you do, like, subscribe, follow, and we'll see you on the next one.